Good morning. Thought we'd do a video today on engines here at Headz Marine. We're always showing engines, customers' engines, stock, inboard and outboard engines that we've built or rebuilt or repaired, running them for our customers. And we never showcase some of our capabilities. This is one of our capabilities. We do some in-house engine rebuilding. We have boring machines for large bore up to 5.5 inch and small bore on down to like 2 and 5/8 bore. We have a power stroke hone machine and valve equipment and such, and we're actually moving in some more equipment here over the next few weeks to upgrade a lot of things. And we have a CNC machine in the background there, and we do a lot of custom stuff from time to time. This is over here, this is a little V6 that we pulled out of a guy's boat, and we did an ATK long block on this one. This one is had lost compression, and the guy had just bought the boat and he got rooked on it because somebody put an automobile engine in it. We believe it was out of some kind of S10 or something, had a real deep sump oil pan, and clearly a car motor. You can see by all the carbon, you don't see that in boat engines. And anyway, the guy had to get a new engine. We elected to just buy an ATK engine for him because we weren't tooled up to build this particular motor. Then over here, this is one we took out the day before yesterday. And this gentleman, he had his boat here a few times and it ran good, but we had some freezing weather. And again, he had just purchased the boat, didn't know much about it, and he let the engine block freeze instead of, removing the drain plugs to drain the engine water. And he cracked the engine block, which you can see all along there. You can see rust running out of the crack in it. It runs all the way down. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but on both sides it's cracked, as you can see there. And it's scrap. Those are some of the things we do here. But today, this is a 496 engine, and it actually goes into my car that I damaged some months ago, and I'm in the process of rebuilding. We do some custom fabrication as well. This car, we've redone the suspension and done a lot of things to it. We have a fiberglass bay way over there we do fiberglass work in, and so we're able to do body work and things like that. So this car, we're going to give it a beautiful paint job, and it has a tilt front end on it now, and it's all chrome powder coating. We've got chrome powder coated suspension components, electric rack and pinion, and just a lot of modifications to this car. But this is the engine for that car. And it was running pretty good before, but somebody else did the machine work on it for me many years ago, and it had a vibration ever since then. And we found out what the vibration was. It had a cylinder head problem, so we replaced the cylinder heads and with new ones. And we also end up boring the engine out and putting a sleeve in one hole because they had the tolerance so far out on one cylinder. It does not vibrate anymore. It runs pretty well. At this little stand, we got this little chicken shit, excuse my French, fuel pump, stuck in there. And that's just, you couldn't run it under loads with that, but it's enough fuel to run it on the stand, to run it in, check for oil leaks, check the oil pressure, set the ignition timing, check for leaks, fuel leaks, adjust carbs, just get it kind of dialed in. Not a dyno stand. We don't really care on this one about dyno horsepower. So I just thought I would kind of show you what our capabilities are. We're going to start this thing up. It's pretty loud. I did warm it up a little bit a while ago, and but it still struggles idling. It's pretty cold here today. It's in the 50s, and I checked the engine block temperature was about 140 degrees a while ago, and that's still pretty cold for this thing. So, it needs to be up around 170, 180 degrees before it idle or stabilize. And I've got a little bit much ignition timing in it right now because we're running this 6 BTM ignition box, and that's good for boats and cars. It has a timing delay that we'll put in, and we can roll back that ignition timing and get the timing dialed in with it in the car. We haven't detailed the blower or polished it. We polished it a little bit, but not much. It needs a lot more cleaning, and we have a new scoop coming for it from BDS because this one is just ugly. It's just a cheap piece of junk in my opinion. And here we go. Let's fire this thing up. It's 496. Now it's got SRP pistons in it, roller cam. It's got a lot of stuff. It's been decked, it's been balanced, it's got a rotating assembly from Skip White Performance, which is a scat crank, and nice heavy rods, floating wrist pins, lots of things. Cam button to hold the cam in, where it's supposed to be. Powder coated, chrome powder coated timing cover down there instead of just the cheap one. This is some engine paint from Pour 15. I thought I would try it. It's a nice glossy paint. That's Cadillac blue, and it's a little expensive, but it seems to make a nice, pretty, shiny coating on it. It's got a little dust in it from just sitting here in the shop. And we also used Pour 15 aluminum paint to paint this. A little bit of a process, but it looks really good. And the valve covers, we painted them as well. But we had an oopsie with our air gun, and I got a bunch of runs in the valve cover, but I don't even care. So one day I'll pull them off and sand them down and redo them, but right now it's perfectly fine. Here we go. Let's fire this thing up. See, it's got some regular unleaded fuel in it too. That's some kind of cheap fuel. That's why it kind of kicked back whenever I shut it off. So it's made to run on better octane than that. Now we could dial the timing back, get it on some super unleaded, and that would be okay. But really, some 105 octane or at least minimum 100, would probably be the way to go. It's just, I'll probably just roll the timing back and run it on super unleaded as little as I run the car. I've got some 3-inch stainless steel exhaust on the car all the way to the back, and some big giant mufflers underneath there that are quieted down quite a bit, which is kind of a pro and con. It makes it a little more comfortable inside the car to drive, but it doesn't sound as good on the back side of the car. But this is basically, the same stuff we would do for a boat. There would be a couple of changes. One would be the camshaft. The lobe separation angle would be different. It would probably have some more carburation on it to get some more air into it. And it would have a wet marine exhaust. You could always opt with a, intercooler and plenty of other things, and so, these are actually marine heads just because I had them laying around, and they work fine on an automotive application, but that's a marine head, and you can tell by the black coating, and there's some other things inside the head that make it more durable for marine use. And I thought, what the hell, it's a boat shop, right? So, I threw the car in the ditch, so it was half underwater, so it's kind of a marine application. Anyway, so that's our shop, that's our capabilities, and like I said, we do bone stock stuff, we do jet ski engines, we do boring and honing, surfacing, things like that, custom builds, you name it, fiberglass work. There's not a lot we don't do. And I hope that helps somebody just to get to know us a little better, and if you need anything done here at Headz Marine, we can certainly help you.